Ew. Are we on? Me and Scott while I comb my beard.
Happy time.
Are we on now?
Welcome to the AfterBuzz.
Oh, Jesus. It's going to be a goofy show. I can already tell. Yeah, so there you go. You guys got a nice full-on shot of me combing my beard.
Is the beard comb specifically different than anything else?
I think it's a facial comb. It came with my beard trimmer.
Gotcha.
So you get here, and then you kind of part it that way a little bit, and then you get right here, and then you part it that way a little bit, and then kind of.
Fascinating.
Green Day tickets? No, we don't have Green Day tickets here. All right. Anyway, so I do have a few things that I'm going to bring up here, and obviously, if there's anything that you guys want to bring up in the chat, you're more than welcome to do so. The first thing I was, just in case if anybody missed it, was running into Daver at the movie theater over the weekend. So Jackie was playing at Alamo Drafthouse down the street, and my girlfriend and I were late getting there. So we kind of had to hurry in, and the previews hadn't really started yet or anything like that. But we it was already dark pretty much kind of when we went in there, so we couldn't see. And so I hurried in there, and I sit down, and then the movie starts, and there's just this nasty cough coming from behind us. And at first you're like, oh fuck, like this is gonna suck, like this dude's gonna cough through the whole movie. But about 5 minutes into it, and it's at a super quiet part, like just super quiet, and you just like this coughing fit is going for like 30 seconds. And if you want something to sound like it's lasting forever, compare it to a coughing fit for 30 seconds during a movie, because it feels like it's going on for fucking ever. No, Carolyn, we're not giving away Green Day tickets. And so I'm sitting there and I hear this coughing and I'm like, good Lord. And then out of nowhere, at this quiet part, I just do this, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. And I'm like, oh, fuck. That's Daver. And so I lean back really quick, and the exit was to my left. And so then I kind of lean back like this, and then there's Daver leaving the theater. And I felt bad because, I mean, he was fighting a cold. He was fighting a cold all week last week, like really bad. And I mean, you could tell obviously he wanted to go out and check out the movie, and he couldn't stop coughing, so he had to
have a good time.
Get out of the theater. Switching from iPhone to Android. Nothing's really happened with that yet, Sonia, just because Metro PCS provides me with the phone, but I still have my iPhone as well, so I'm kind of using both of them.
I have two phones right now too.
Do you really?
Yeah, like a drug dealer.
Hey, see? You got a burner? Wait, you got a burner?
I got a new Pixel, but it's on.
Is it the Google Pixel?
Yeah.
Let me see that.
And it's on the Verizon, but my old phone is on AT&T, so we haven't canceled it yet.
Oh.
It's a big one.
This is the one that keeps getting like really good reviews, isn't it?
I dig it. I haven't really played too much with the camera yet. We're going to do that today.
Hence Pixel.
Ha ha!
Ba-dum-bum.
Also,
do you get here's the thing I want everybody to kind of let me know is, do they want me to talk about like DJ Khaled and the other story I had from Florida, or do you want me to talk about yesterday morning when Buzz gave me the pineapple? Did you hear about that, Scott?
I did. You showed me the pineapple. It is now in the window.
Yeah. So in case you're wondering, if when you're looking at the live stream and then the upper right hand camera that's on me, you'll see in the bottom right of that screen there's the pineapple sitting there. Because I don't know why, like ever since we found out that like this is like apparently a secret thing, which has not been confirmed, by the way. We don't know this.
Sounds really weird.
But I'm going to get to both stories. I was just kind of wondering if you guys had one like a preference as to which one. Vic says the pineapple story, so we're already getting into that.
All right.
So, to everybody saying that they now forgot about the swinger topic. All right, so Buzz, yesterday, like before the show, Joanna does some work in the studio that I'm in, and then I work on my laptop on the other side, so both her and I are standing there, and Buzz walks in, he's got this thing that's wrapped up in like tissue paper, and he just sets it down next to me. And I'm like, what is this? And he doesn't immediately respond. And I'm like, oh, fuck, that's Ivan. Like, I legitimately thought he brought an urn with Ivan's ashes. Because if you remember, on Monday, he was taking Ivan to go be put down. Because he thought Ivan, like, literally was on his last leg. Because, I mean, he couldn't stand up. But no, it was not Ivan. Ivan is still alive. I don't really want to say alive and well because he's still struggling. They put him on medication for arthritis. Buzz did say that Ivan was able to at least relatively move around yesterday. So, which is a lot better than it was because when Buzz texted me over the weekend, Ivan's leg, like they were stuck like this, like he couldn't move them.
I thought it was a done deal. I thought it was like bye-bye Ivan.
And that's why it was so weird when he puts this thing down in front of me, like immediately my brain is like, holy fuck, he just brought an urn with Ivan in it. But no, it's a little like, it's a little pineapple that holds a sponge. And, so then we got onto the topic and we started talking about the pineapple and the whole swinger thing. And I'm serious. Like I'll drive through neighborhoods now, and it's just it's just become like a mission to like look for pineapples that are like sitting out somewhere. And Buzz also told me another one that apparently swingers do. Again, none of this is confirmed.
Right.
They apparently wear black rings on their right ring finger.
Okay.
And that means like, hey, I'm open for whatever.
Let's do this.
Which is funny because the whole lifestyle kind of creeps me out because I have been to a swinger party. And it was when I was in Florida. And I kind of told this story on the air. I couldn't really get into it full-fledged. But the girl I was dating at the time, she worked for the radio station. And there was this club. It was a normal club, like bar, every other day of the week, every other night, and it was just randomly they wanted to throw a swinger party, so they did. And Scott's phone's blowing up.
Hey, that's what the Google Pixel
is that the Google Pixel sounds like?
That's right.
And so I was like, all right, I'll go with you. So we went there, and it's really not what you like. You know the scene from Westworld where you're like, it's a bunch of hot people getting after it. No. And basically, there's at one point, it was kind of at the beginning, and I'm standing there, and my ex is in front of me, and she starts going like this, like she's nodding to me like this, like look over your shoulder. So I kind of just, look over, and there's just these two broads that each one's probably pushing 250, 260. And one of them is just sitting on a stool with her legs open and her skirt's hiked up, and the other one is on the ground just having a fucking clam feast, dude. Like and they were there for like a half an hour.
Roll.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, God damn it. So then, of course, wherever I sat, I was making sure I was in the direction. And that was really it. I mean, there really wasn't a whole lot of other, they did like a twister thing where a bunch of people got naked. And it's like, quite frankly, it's fucking gross. Like I went home and I took like three showers after that. And I think I'm pretty sure I used chlorine as well.
Probably pretty good because you were probably covered in a light sheen of sex mist.
Yeah, so that was the swinger party. And that was the part that I really couldn't get into on the air was truly what these two ladies were doing at the bar where they serve you fucking drinks. Like... Come on, man! Like, put a tarp down or something.
Yeah,
Fuck.
Liquids plus liquids does not equal anything good.
Jesus.
I got a present today too. Actually, somebody just sent me something.
Wait, how did we go from swinger party and a chick eating, going down to you getting a present? What happened, dude?
Well, no, because you got the pineapple.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna go grab it. It's on my desk.
All right, Scott's gonna go grab that.
Fill for time.
But speaking of which, what was funny was. Speaking of presents, if you guys know who Jim Paul is, he calls in the show. He's big here in El Paso. And he was the one that gave us our 2016 calendar, and it was a Walking Dead calendar. And he specifically called last week just to confirm that we would be here because he wants to come drop off a new Walking Dead calendar because he forgot what the type of calendar was. So he had to confirm that. And then he also apparently has individual gifts for me, Buzz, and Joanna that he's going to be bringing in. If you've never hung out with Jim Paul is a pretty funny dude. Ew, sex mist. Come on, Snake. Or at least, I guess it's better than moist.
I said sex mist.
Vic says, why is it that the ugly people want to get naked? I don't know, man.
Always.
But I remember there was an episode of, I think it was Dave Attell's Insomniac. and he was at like a nudist colony. And you know when they usually show stuff like that on Comedy Central, they blur things out. Well, there was one guy that was there that he was talking to that was so fat. You know how on Family Guy they don't have to blur anything out on Peter because his gut hangs over it?
Yeah.
That's how fat this guy was.
Okay.
They had to blur nothing because he was completely covered by his stomach. All right, Scott, what is your gift?
All right, so I went to stay with a friend of mine in Durango, Colorado. I came across this place, and I just thought the name was hilarious. Well, turns out they've got hats. It's not fitted for you. The Weasel Skin Farm in Durango, Colorado.
Weasel Skin?
Can you see it? I don't know. Weasel Skin Farm. That is mine now. I will wear that. Oh, I guess I also just threw up today's Urban Dictionary word by mistake. But there it is. Today's show brought to you by...
Yeah, go ahead and read it.
How would you say that? Oh, et merda. Latin abbreviation for the literal translation of and shit.
Yeah, so if you want to say that...
It's like etc.
Say E.T.
Instead of saying,
Or ETM, right? Yeah, ETM.
Yeah, very good. Very good. All right. Glad we got to do that.
What kind of dog does Scott have? Scott, you got a cat, right?
I have a cat.
Yeah, Scott's got a cat. He doesn't have a dog. A cat, by the way, was kind of an asshole. I stopped by Scott's house one time, and I was just standing, and he comes up all nice, like, hey, how you doing? And then all of a sudden, he reaches his paws up, like, oh, I'm gonna stretch on your, just fucking clamps down on your leg.
He just does that constantly. That thing where, he goes to, he's gonna stretch out, and then he just sticks his claws directly into your fucking flesh.
Scott's cat is proof that cats are assholes.
Complete assholes.
Like, I'm gonna tease you here. Oh, I'm gonna be all nice, and then fucking death.
Eat your FaceTime.
So then another thing that popped up was DJ Khaled. I mean, I used to work with him in Florida, Scott.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so I worked with DJ Khaled, but it's usually just the same stories that I talk about constantly. It's how a dude pees with his fucking pants around his ankles, and there's no way of getting around it.
Kindergartner?
Yeah.
I remember going to kindergarten and doing that, and everyone pointing and laughing at me. That was like a moment, like my first day at school was everybody pointing and laughing because my pants were around my ankles.
Dude!
Oh, it was the worst.
I was going to say, does that scar you a little bit?
A little bit.
Holy shit.
Every day from now on.
Oh,
but that's
that
okay,
sucks.
Because
yeah.
now I've got the Weasel Skin Farm hat. I'm good. Life is fine.
So yeah, that's always the story that I have. Because, I mean, truly, I'm not really sure what he does. I heard he's like a producer. All I know is he yells in, it would be like if I'm on the show and all I do is yell my own name and shit like that. I'm pretty sure that would be comparable to what he does. No, truly, the way the building was set up, the rock station was on one side, and then right across the other side was the hip hop station. My office was over by the hip hop station, so I was frequently walking past them. If I was there late, past 5 o'clock or whatever when they were there. I never saw him in the studio. I never saw him on a microphone. All he ever was on his phone, grabbing his fucking crotch, yelling into the phone about how they the best or whatever the fuck it was. Seriously. I don't have a goddamn clue. I should Carol, I should just literally, for a whole show, or at least one whole segment, that's all I do is just yell my own name. And just in, different inflection. You know how in Donnie Brasco, they ask him about the forget about it? Yeah. And he's like, it depends on the inflection.
Yeah, exactly.
And the conversation's like, forget about it, or forget about it.
That's one of my favorite movies.
All the different ways of saying it, that's what I'll do one day, is I just yell my own fucking name, and depending on, the inflection or what the conversation is, that's going to be what I mean when I yell my own name.
That is beautiful.
Or I'm going to yell the word listen that has 3 N's on the end of it. Because that was apparently a thing too. Because apparently people were starting to tune him the fuck out. So he had to yell at you to listen to him. Fuck that guy. But anyway.
That's some sad ass shit.
But yeah, so he did nights there. And then Tony, who does Loudwire Nights, she did nights there as well.
I was hoping you had one of the Tonys from Tony.
No,
in the 90s. That
no, but we did call all of their cronies and stuff zombies.
Because
they would here's the thing. This is the problem that Tony had with them, is that the thermostat for the studios were over in the rock studio.
Gotcha.
They would get like 30 people crammed into the hip-hop studio, none of which was DJ Khaled, by the way. Everybody else was in the fucking studio. He's in the conference room yelling on his phone. But they would then come over to her to
screaming his own name on the phone.
Yeah. Listen. But they would walk over and they would ask Tony to turn the AC up because they would have so many people in the studio. All the body heat gets it fucking hot in there. So I would frequently go, into the studio where she was at, and she's like huddled up with like a jacket and a blanket, and I'm like, what's the deal? Like, why are you huddled up? And she goes, well, and Tony, being the absolute sweetheart that she is, always abided by what they requested. So she would, crank the AC up, which meant that she was in there, freezing her ass off. But yeah, so that was the DJ Khaled experience. Right there. And then there was another story that I probably could have told this on the air, but it's just kind of gross.
Okay.
Like we went through a lot of poop and fart stories today. And Buzz didn't even read yours.
Didn't even read mine?
No. Scott had a great one, too.
Oh, hold on. I'm going to pull it up. I'll read it for you guys here.
All right. Do you want to go first or you want me to go first?
No, you go first. I can take me a second then.
Okay. So Scott's going to grab his story that he sent us because we were talking today about the way we got on the whole DJ Khaled thing was the weird coworkers and the things that they do. And I cannot believe it took Buzz reminding me of that. Like, I think I'm trying to block out the whole DJ Khaled experience because the guy was an asshole. Like everybody there in that building now just swoons over him and he's just the greatest thing in the world. And like, I don't fucking get it. All the guy does is yell. Like, I yell a lot. Why not me?
Not my own name.
If that's true. Yeah, oh shit. That's what I should do.
That's it. That's why you're not famous.
Yeah, apparently. So anyway, my other story was there was one time I was in the bathroom and I was in the stall. And I'm one of those people that if I'm in the stall and somebody else comes in, I get super fucking quiet. Like I'm gonna wait it out.
Right.
Unless it's during a commercial break, and then you got to hurry. Like you got to get going.
No matter what.
But so this guy walks in. And the way the bathroom was set up is so like if I'm in the stall here, there's another stall to the left. The urinals are on the same wall that's like to my back, and there's a couple of urinals there, and then the front door the door to the bathroom is to the left, and then like the sink is on the opposite wall. So obviously when I told the story about DJ Khaled, when you would walk in that door, the urinals are to the right, and there's Khaled's ass, and then even if to the left, it's being reflected into the mirror. Like it doesn't like it's both sides, man.
Ass everywhere.
Doesn't matter. You got to kind of do one of these. So I'm sitting there. A guy goes in there. He's using the urinal, and then I hear this. It's like this fucking gross fart, and I'm like stifling laughter, like whatever.
Juicy fart.
And so when the guy gets done using the urinal, all of a sudden he goes into the stall next to me, and he's standing there, and I hear him like grabbing the toilet paper, and he's got to wipe his own ass because he shit himself.
Oh, fuck.
And then eventually, I think it clicked like in his brain, like, oh, I actually do have to, sit down and take a deucer. So then he actually does sit down to finish the business that started at the fucking urinal. And all I saw was this dude's shoes, and they were red and blue Air Force Ones. And I went back to my office and I told my assistant about it. And he and I were like, dude, we got to go around this building and find out who's wearing blue and red Air Force Ones. Never found him. Never found who it was.
Really? Like somebody in the building just to...
It had to... No, what I have a feeling it was whoever it was leaving because the bathroom is right next to the elevator. I have a feeling they were on their way up. But there was a couple of times when he and I would be like walking around and we would see somebody with like close to that color of shoe. We'd be like, oh shit. And then we'd see him and we're like, that's not it. So the mystery shitter is forever going to remain a mystery, I guess, because I highly doubt that anybody's ever going to fess up to that. But yeah, so the guy crapped himself at the urinal.
Good times.
Now Scott's got a great story here from Lake Charles.
Yeah, this was when the last station I worked at before this one. We had some really messed up dudes.
All right, hold on. Let me do this for you.
Yeah. What you got?
I'm going to give you the mic.
Oh, yeah, swing it this way. All right, there. Now people can probably hear me better, hopefully. So, yeah, all right. So the last station I work at, we just had some really messed up dudes. The building looks like 30 years older than it actually is because it's just, the jocks there are disgusting. Like a lot of radio stations have carpeted walls, right, for soundproofing. and there's just like coffee and food stains on the walls and stuff like that. Just nasty. But the men's bathroom is by far like the worst. Because it was just nothing to go in there, and there's just like pubes in the sink. Not like a stray pube or something like that, because that's understandable, maybe even pretty gross. But it was
it's still gross,
but it's
It's within the realm of that's right. Well, I don't want to say acceptable, but
it's within the box. So, but this is like somebody shaved their pubes
fucking gross
into the sink, and then just didn't dispose of them, like leaving like a greasy little present for all of us. And look, there's a very clear difference between chest hair and pube hair. So like, it's not like, oh, maybe somebody was just like, no, this was definitely pubes. So, but around the same time, not long after that, I find the toilet splattered with blood.
Oh my!
On the seat, against the lid. I don't know where it came from or what happened, but like somebody really needed to see a gastroenterologist in our building.
So fucking gross.
Like it's like somebody living on a diet of like flaming Cheetos and Taka. Just like, so that's really horrible. But then it just came to a breaking point, because one day I walk in there and there's like this little turdlet on the floor, on the floor, and the toilet meanwhile is just ravaged by feces. It looked like the end of time. And then somehow, like the little turdlet on the floor was like the dingleberry on top of the sewage cake. I mean, it was just fucking... So I respond with this building-wide email, and I'm like saying, like, what kind of toothless savage just throws their bodily fluids all around a public restroom, and like, this is not your cardboard box at the overpass, and if you can't handle society's toilets, then go squat outside in the swamp like the animal you fucking are. As it turned out, that same day I sent that email, it happened to be one of our DJ's very first day
Welcome to
the building. So she gets the job, sits down to do her show. She hasn't met anybody yet, and the first thing she reads about our building is that it's like a diarrhea-sprayed hellhole. And she thought I was some sort of fire-breathing lunatic because I just went off about it. So the moral of that story is that messed up coworkers lead to messed up coworkers. And also,
it's a vicious cycle, man.
Also eat some fucking fiber, would you? Jesus Christ.
All right. That actually reminded me of a couple more stories. Oh, shit. Like there was one time in Florida too. So Kevin, who is here, who's our boss here, he was also my boss in Florida. And there was one day I walked by his office, and he was like, "Hey," he goes, "just go to the second stall, the one that's up against the wall." He goes, and lift the seat and tell me how the fuck that's possible. So I go in there, and the fucking seat, it's perfectly clean on top. Like there's nothing, like it looks fucking spotless. But then like I roll up a bunch of toilet paper and I kind of give it one of these. There's like somebody fucking somehow like it hit. Somebody had explosive shit so bad it hit the fucking water, and then it geysered back up, and it fucking completely caked the undercarriage of the toilet seat. Like, this is how bad it was in Florida, and I acknowledge the fact that like we've gone super gross on this AfterBuzz.
Sorry about that.
But still, it's kind of funny. Like it was to the point in Florida that they actually had signs up in the urinals, like in front of the urinals and in the stalls, that said, "Don't be in a rush. Remember to flush."
Yes.
Seriously. Like, because apparently not flushing is a normal fucking thing, at least to enough people, that they had to put up fucking signs. There was another time where this, I think I've actually told this story. This lady showed up at the radio station. She'd won a $100 gift card, Visa gift card, and she took a $75 cab ride to the radio station to pick up the $100 gift card. Stop and think about that. That's $75 one way. So she's there, and she doesn't have enough money to get home. So the receptionist and everybody else, they're calling, like letting her use the phones, trying to find somebody who can come pick her up. So she finally finds a ride, but they're like 30 to 45 minutes out. And while she's standing at the counter, She's just big lady. She just fucking unleashes this like cheek clapping fart that's just like blah, 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 blah. And I mean it's like rumbling. And my buddy Sean was the receptionist at the time, and he's telling me the story, and he's like, man, I've never had to stifle laughter that hard. He's like, I honestly thought I was going to pass out because he had to laugh so bad, and he's trying not to because he,
there's no way.
There's this lady here, and then she asks if she can use the bathroom, and so then they and there was no bathrooms except up, on at least the second floor, so you had to be with an employee to get there, and oh fuck, I guess she went in there, and some of the ladies. They were like, dude, she fucking destroyed that thing. Absolutely annihilated that fucking bathroom.
There's just like a little tendril of smoke coming out.
Oh my god! There's you get that green smoke that's coming out from underneath the door.
No way I would have not been able to have laughed. It would have just been involuntary.
Snake says, sometimes I see boogers smeared on the wall behind the urinal. Hey, we have a booger wall here. Buzz and I've talked about it on the air. There's in the urinals at the urinals. There's just it's like somebody just and just wiped it right on the wall.
It's just been there forever.
Yep.
And it's like part of the decoration now.
There was another story. This one came from an ex of mine. And she used to work for Macy's. And she told us this one story where there's this older gentleman who, I can't even remember exactly what happened, but he basically left a poop trail through Macy's. I don't know if he couldn't find the bathroom or what was going on, but somebody was walking around and obviously you're gonna get the smell and everybody's kind of
it's like Andy in Shawshank when he's taking the pieces of the rock out into the yard.
Yeah,
shakes his pant leg.
That's exactly what was happening. And somebody smelled it, so then looked down and there it was, and sure enough, you could see, you could track where this dude was trying to find the bathroom because it was just dribbles,
Jesus.
all over the fucking place. Fender says he thinks this AfterBuzz is amazeballs. It is a little bit gross.
Horrible,
we're not going to, this is not going to be every AfterBuzz. I think we're going to hopefully get the grossness mostly out of the way here.
We'll see.
It's just the topics kind of lended themselves to this stuff this week.
I think I've told the story on here where a friend of mine borrowed a ski suit from somebody.
Yeah.
Had shit in it and then rolled down the mountain in it.
That's so fucked up, dude.
For it to happen.
There was, I don't know if Buzz told this story or not. I don't think he did on the air. Because when we're on the air, we try to avoid the gross topics. I mean, because when you're doing a morning show, there's a lot of people who listen while they're eating breakfast and stuff like that. Sometimes it's unavoidable. Like today with some of the stories, like the fucking dude who had the coworker that would eat his blackheads.
Fuck!
Yeah, dude.
God damn it!
Right?
Oh, Jesus.
Here's what's fucked up. Out of every single story we've just told on the AfterBuzz, that is what made Scott cringe. He just told a bloody shit story, and it was eating blackheads that made Scott freak the fuck out.
That broke me.
And so, oh fuck! See, now I got distracted by the goddamn. Oh, Buzz. So he doesn't watch these, thank God. So I can tell this story, so I don't have to worry about it. So he was at Alamo Drafthouse. This was a few weeks ago, and he went to a movie. It was one of those later run movies that, he's literally the only person in the theater. And hour and a half goes by. He's already gotten his food. He's already gotten his drinks and everything. Hour and a half has gone by, and he's got a fart. And he's like, well, shit, nobody's been in here a while, and nobody's here in the theater. I might as well let it rip. So he just fucking lets it go. It's at that moment the waiter comes back to make sure to see if he needs anything. And if you've ever been to Alamo Drafthouse, the way that it's set up is the walkway is down here and the seats are raised so that the servers can kind of hunker down so they're not in your view. They can come to your table, check your ticket, and then scurry away or like give you your food, but you're not blocking the movie. So this dude walks in like this. And he's just getting the full frontal of that hot beef that's coming out of Buzz, man. And Buzz is like, I've never fucking farted in a movie theater before. I'm never fucking doing it again because after an hour and a half of holding that thing in, that guy shows up right after I fucking do it.
That's awesome.
He was pretty pissed about it too. I mean, not pissed at the waiter, but at that situation that he had to wait that fucking long. And, he fucking, caught that kid in his jet wash.
There is, of course, one bathroom story that trumps them all.
Which one's that?
Johnny Boute.
Oh, fuck. All right, hold on. I got to give Scott the microphone for this one. In case you guys don't know, we're working on creating Johnny Boute into a character, but Johnny Boute is an actual person.
Yes.
That Scott knows.
This is an actual...
Do go into Johnny Boute.
This is an actual true story here that I'm about to tell you. So, this girl that I was dating pretty seriously for a long time, about the early 2000s, she had a gay uncle. And he was involved. He got sent to jail for sex with an underage boy, but it was part of a larger sting at a lawyer's office he worked at. So, it was really, about as tawdry as you can get. Jesus. So he goes to jail, and I don't remember how long he was in there. Probably, 4 or 5 years, something like that. When he comes out, and you would think, prison changes a man. He, or at least he says, he had the best time in there because... You can imagine why, he was constantly satisfied. We'll put it that way.
Johnny Boute.
Now, Johnny Boute.
And that's his real name.
This is his actual name. Boute. That is his actual given last name. So Johnny gets out of jail. He's a wedding DJ, and he's just a massive alcoholic in those days. Just really bad. Would crash his truck constantly. At some point, I think he just couldn't even get insurance for his truck anymore or whatever. Just constantly driving drunk. So they're at a wedding one night, and it is it's a family affair. So that his nephews and my then girlfriend was there. And they see at some point that the DJ table is unmanned. It's just on autopilot. Where's Uncle Johnny?
Running automation.
Yeah, where's Uncle Johnny? No idea. So they start looking for him. They go outside. He's not outside smoking. He's not in the kitchen anywhere. So my girlfriend's brother goes in the bathroom to find him, and he walks in there, and he says, Johnny, and he doesn't hear anything at first, but he can see feet in one of the stalls, and so he says it a couple times, Johnny, is that you? And all he hears back is, I don't know what happened. And so now he's like, what
now I want to know what the fuck happened.
So he walks in there and he opens the stall, and Johnny is there on his feet, rented tux pants around his ankles.
Hey, like DJ Khaled.
Yes. And there is shit everywhere. It's on the walls. It's on the floor. It's on the toilet paper dispenser. And it is just... The place is just caked.
It's fucking gross.
And so he's like, the brother's name was Jake, by the way. Jake's like, what the fuck, Uncle Johnny? What's the deal? Well, Uncle Johnny had spent a lot of time in prison, and he had a prolapsed butthole, and he was not able to keep things in when he reached a certain amount of drink, specifically Merlot.
Oh, God!
And he's standing there, and he's just saying, I don't know what happened. And that is... one of the many stories from Johnny Boute.
Well, you got to tell the one about when he showed up, and so the one thing we're doing with Johnny Boute has a liner, one-liner.
There's a one-liner on Johnny Boute.
And you got to give the quick story about that before we wrap up this AfterBuzz.
So I lived in the same. Actually, Johnny helped me get my apartment that I was living in at the time with my girlfriend, and he knew the landlord really well. But it also meant he would come over to visit a lot, and that's not a bad thing. Except he's bringing a six-pack with him, and he's not leaving until the six-pack's done. That's the only way he's leaving the house. So either A, you have to drink with him to help him get out faster.
Try to finish the beer.
Or you're just stuck with him until he's there. Well, he comes in one night, and he's so excited. And he's like he had just discovered something. So just he invented something. It was like something he never could have imagined before.
It's like when people saw the iPhone for the first time.
Right, it was just like,
oh my God, look at this touch screen.
Right? And he just looks us dead in the eyes and he says, I just snorted cocaine off a penis! And that is Johnny Boute's specific catchphrase.
Oh, goodness gracious. All right, so now that you guys know about Johnny Boute and we've discussed enough, piss, shit, and fart jokes, I'm giving everybody, if you guys do want, just a few minutes here before we wrap up this AfterBuzz. Somebody wants Fab wants a Super Bowl breakdown. I don't know. Like, this is one of those really interesting Super Bowls with Atlanta's, all the big talk right now is Atlanta's offense, which is fucking incredible, obviously, when you got Julio Jones and Devontae Freeman and, Tevin Coleman. And then you have the Patriots defense where, I can name all the guys because it's my team, but I guarantee most football fans can't name. I mean, they know Malcolm Butler because of the interception a couple of years ago. But other than that, not a lot of people can name Patriots defensive players. On the flip side, the big thing you have is for where you have the Patriots offense against the Falcons defense. Because one thing that is kind of getting pushed to the side right now is the fact that Dan Quinn is the head coach of the Falcons. Dan Quinn was the defensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks back when they beat Denver in the Super Bowl and lost to the Patriots in the Super Bowl. So, and it's also, it's Tom Brady with, pretty much every weapon except for Gronkowski at this point. So I think that, that storyline could end up being more of a factor than is it, the Patriots stop Atlanta. It's can Atlanta stop the Patriots on offense. So I'm not going to give any predictions or anything like that, but we do have a bet between myself and Buzz, and that bet is the loser gets smacked in the face with a fish.
Where did that come from?
I don't know. I was gone. When I threw my back out last week, I missed the meeting, and apparently they were talking about bets. And I don't normally bet at all. Everybody keeps saying I need to shave. Somebody in the chat today said I needed to shave my head if they lose.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Thanks, Captain Obvious. No, but then other people were like, shave your beard, shave that. Nah, that's not my thing. Like I don't.
What would happen though if you did shave your head?
I could always wear
the Weasel
Farm. You had a big fucking head, man.
Yeah, I do.
Jesus, my ears could fit in this thing. Look at this.
Yeah. My mom had to have a C-section.
Yeah, apparently.
No way I was going out the regular way.
That melon ain't fitting out there. And then, so then I guess they kind of came up with that in the meeting. And originally, I don't like betting on the Patriots in any way, shape, or form. But then when they were like, loser gets smacked in the face with a fish, I was like, okay, I can get behind that. So next week on Monday, we'll talk about it. Depending on whoever won or lost, whoever wins has to go buy the fish, and then the loser gets smacked in the face, and we're going to do the smacking in the face on Tuesday morning live on the show.
Very Monty Python.
Need to get Tony to call in.
That would be kind of cool.
Virginia, that actually wouldn't be a horrible idea. I should reach out to her and see about her calling in and maybe even giving us some exclusives for Loudwire nights and stuff. I'm not sure what her schedule is though, so that could be difficult getting her actually on the show. But yeah, I'll reach out to her. I mean, although did I tell you that when it was her birthday, I texted her, but I had her old phone number, so then some just random ass person got a happy birthday Tony text from me. Because Tony's notorious for dropping her phone in water. She goes through her phone. I think it was almost every 6 months or something like that.
I have a story about that too.
About dropping your phone? It wasn't in the bloody poop, was it?
Sending to the wrong phone number.
Oh.
Yeah. You want to wrap up the AfterBuzz with that?
Yeah. While you do that, I'm going to go through the questions here really quick and just
right.
make sure there's nothing else. All right. So we're closing the chat to questions. Scott's going to tell the story.
All right. My last story of the day. So in the same place I worked with all the turdlets on the floor, there was a DJ that I was on the morning show with, and he got new phones constantly. I don't know if maybe he was running from creditors or something, but he was constantly getting a new phone. Well, one day he gets a phone, and he shows me this text, and it says it's been a year, and we're always going to miss you. Happy birthday in heaven. And so we're looking, it's what the fuck? And so he texts the lady back, hey, this is I got a new phone number. This isn't the person you're looking for, clearly. because I'm alive. And they text back. They're like, "Oh, sorry. Like, we buried him with his phone, and it was just a really rough day." And so I was just sending a text message out. I didn't think the number was being reused. This is in Louisiana.
Louisiana's fucked up.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, you have no idea. You have no fucking idea.
They might
Oh, we're beating New Mexico. We just don't have.
I'm almost thinking Florida.
Well, we're getting close. We're getting close. We just don't have the PR.
Because I'll tell you right now, Florida does not have Johnny Boute.
No one has Johnny Boute. So anyway, so he texts back, and he's like, okay, well that's cool. Just but this is a new phone number, whatever. And I don't know, 4 or 5 months later, another one of these texts come through. Not happy birthday in heaven, but it's it was near a holiday or something like that. Mm-hmm. It's
hey, happy Flag Day.
Yeah, happy Easter without you or something like that. And he was just like, what the fuck is this? So he doesn't respond. And then a little further down the road, maybe 2 or 3 more months later, again, another it happens. He's out the ballpark with his kids, right? He's out there. His girl's playing softball, so he's out there, and he's tired of getting these messages, and so he just replies back, "Oh, it burns! It burns! Oh, it's so painful! Oh, hell is hard! Whatever." And he gets
the pitchforks suck,
and they fucking. You didn't have to do that. That was horrible. This, that, and the other. But they never texted again.
Well,
and that was the end of that.
I guess that's what you need to do to get people to stop texting that number, man.
All right, so then a couple more things from the chat here. Cholango asks about the survivor shelter. We interviewed a guy earlier this week who, and see, in all honesty, this is where the media is becoming even I'm seeing the bias in this when the headline for these fucking stories are, bomb shelters busy because people concerned of Trump apocalypse, which might have been the headline that I used in the story too, but I don't know. But in the actual story, it's not that's not just it. There's always an event that keeps and he said it when he was on the air with us, is that there's always something going on where they're never, short on business to build these bomb shelters. I mean, shit. The guy said that the most expensive one they ever built, $12 million. Jeez. Somebody built on a fucking bomb shelter. He couldn't tell us who, but I'm pretty sure that it was Trump because he's already prepared for what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's where he's going to hide.
He's not even worried.
But no, he asked about the company name, and it was Rising S Company. And I think that's the website too, just .com, but it was Rising S because the joke that Buzz and I were like, if the shit's rising, you're going to need a bomb shelter.
Rising Shroom Cloud, maybe?
Yeah, there you go. Other than that, I think that's about it. I think this was a pretty decent one. And if you guys want to come in on the AfterBuzz, remember, you're always more than welcome to. And I'm hoping that we could, the way we did, that was just last week with Blanca and Lorena, right?
Yeah.
With the game show. Hopefully we can start getting in some more prizes and get people come in to play some games and stuff like that. It'd be fun. I had a blast doing it. I hope you guys had a blast watching it. And hopefully we can do more of that. Why did you just type the word anal?
I just typed the word anal.
Did I just see the word anal?
No, I was typing your email address so that people could see it.
It looked like the word anal.
Okay, well, you need to talk with somebody about that.
Yeah, well. I was watching Scrubs. Remember, it's one of those shows that I'll always watch during the day. Oh, Ariel. It was a font. But yeah, so it was oh shit. I was watching Scrubs and Dr. Kelso, who was the boss, they're talking about dirty words because Elliot, the blonde chick, Sarah Chalk, she can't say words like penis or vagina or something like that. And Kelso's like, you need to be able to say these words like penis or vagina or anal. And she goes, anal is not a dirty word. And Kelso just goes, tell that to my wife. All right. But the shelter too, I think that the models start at 45,000. And that's, you can be in there for a year.
What the fuck?
I'm kind of trying to convince Buzz to build one. But he, I don't know if he will or not. His dogs are starting to fucking dig holes in that backyard.
It's gonna be hard to podcast from the inside of bombshell.
Yeah, he gets a little stick coming out of there. But yeah, he also had and good prizes. Hey, be lucky with what you got, Blanca. Like that was, that's me scraping the bottom of the barrel. You guys, like this is the weird thing is everybody constantly thinks that we just have like cool free shit laying around everywhere.
No.
That is not the case anymore. It kind of used to be.
We get you a 6-pack of Squirt.
Squirt. Seriously, how funny is that fucking word?
That's great.
But no, like we really, it just doesn't happen anymore. Like especially like movie companies and stuff like that that used to be up that were coming out. They would send all kinds of cool free shit, and they just don't really do that anymore. And Fab, if you want, the AfterBuzzes always get saved. So if you missed last week's when Blanca and Lorena were in, you can go back and watch that one as they competed with John Hughes trivia against Buzz.
The audio is pretty shitty, unfortunately. Sorry.
Yeah, it starts out really bad and then it gets kind of okay after a few minutes. But we're just like we're still trying to figure out this room and how we're going to have the microphones rigged up and everything.
So, as the best way to wrap this up would be to bring back our Urban Dictionary word of the day, et merda, which turned out to be pretty.
And shit.
Yeah,
I think that sums up today's AfterBuzz.
Yeah,
today's AfterBuzz was et merda.
Et merda.
Et merda. And Alfonso talks about the CD collection. You guys have brought that up. We're not doing CDs. That's why there's the podcast.
Yeah.
The time and energy and the effort to actually do the CDs. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
Like we can't do it, and that's why there's a daily podcast every day. So. Hopefully figured out. And it's really easy to go to. You can go through iTunes. There's multiple different ways that you can do it. And it's basically, it takes the show and it condenses it down to about an hour to an hour and 20 minutes. And speaking of which, that's why we got to wrap this bad boy up so that I can go do today's
There you go.
podcast. On that note, we got anything coming up next week?
I don't know.
No shit stories next week, I promise.
Yeah,
we'll avoid.
We're going to totally.
We covered our shit quota for 2017.
We're good.
Yeah. So on that note, we'll see you next week.